Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, and thank you so much for your support. The heroes of industry are all here. Not me, they are heroes. And this is platform right here, right now, is dedicated to everyone around the world. Because you're bold, brave, and you dare greatly. You solve problems, you innovate, you collaborate, and you're making the world a better place. That's why Industrial Talk is here to celebrate industry professionals all around the world. Again, we are at the OMG Q4 meeting. And it is, again, a collection of really smart people passionate about solving industrial problems. My ear's bleeding. They are that passionate about it. And it is in Austin, Texas. And we're going to have another great conversation, Q1. Put that on it. I'm going to put all the contact out on Industrial Talk, so make sure that you make that happen. 2 people are in the hot seat. Dr. Kostas, don't even go there. Alexandridis.
Alexandridis, right?
I got that, man. And Michael LaFontaine. They're in the hot seat.
Nailed that.
Orange County Public Works is the location or the company, I don't know, it's the entity. Let's get cracking. Yeah, I like that. You guys having a good, see, it's not a conference. It's not a conference. I'm not going to say it's a conference. Nope. I'm going to say it's a meeting. And is this the first time you guys have been here, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And of course, you have to say yes.
Yes. Orange County Public Works is one of the newest members of the consortium. So we joined the consortium less than a year ago, and it's our first meeting. We've been participating on the online meetings and all those proceedings, but this is the first time we get to meet in person.
So I have to ask the question. Because why? Why all of a sudden you're saying, hey, this is the first time, we haven't been here, it's been less than a year. It's important for you to be a part of it. Why? Why was that a discussion, Kostas?
I think for us as a public institution and one that is involved with infrastructure in a big regional area.
It's big. It's not an understatement.
We wanted to be part of that digital transformation and also providing our cities, our communities, the opportunity to be involved in that really exciting era as we transform an infrastructure from a more traditional, conventional utilities type of thing into a more digital form that is able to serve as citizens for the 21st century. And that's kind of motivate us. The second reason is, as a group, the subgroup, the people who are doing that, we are just natural innovators. So we enjoy being part of that innovative ecosystem.
I have to step in, Michael. That's not a typical mindset for any public works. You guys are sort of blazing it. You guys are unicorns.
Yeah, you could say that. And I'll be honest, it's all led by a vision. And that vision is our county surveyor, which is Kevin Hills. And he's paved a path and a vision that that we all want to follow, that we want to be a part of. And what that's enabled us to do is attract, young, talented, or not just young, but talented people that want to be a part of this vision and, see it through and also serve the public in a new way, right?
See, this is brilliant. I mean, me being an old utility guy, and I know that there's, we have our way of thinking and we have our way of doing things. We're the utilities, and we're, and the same thing with public works. There's just a culture that exists within just that, and it's like, this is how we do it. This is how we've done it forever. This is why we build these roads, and this is why. Kudos to that. Kostas, with that said, has it been sort of eye-opening just being a part of the OMG and like, okay, here we are, we say we want to do it and we want to participate. Are you getting that sort of collaboration sort of feel about the whole thing and learning more and saying, oh wow, that's different, that's good?
It is. This is a new endeavor for a lot of us at the OMG, and we are surrounded by like-minded people. We all embrace innovation on the one hand, and the second part is we learn from each other, because most of the things we try to do have never been done before. So we are kind of pushing the envelope, we're exploring kind of blue sky horizons here. We have a vision, we know where we're going to go. Maybe we don't know exactly how to do it, but we're learning from each other, we're sharing experience, we're creating, case studies and toolboxes for us to work and this kind of active workspaces to fit each other. And it's very rewarding because we started creating collaborations that we wouldn't imagine a year ago. So global. You're absolutely spot on. Now, with that said, and many of the conversations I've had here, it's extensive. Meaning, there's a lot of chirping going on out there, and it's all great. And here's a new use case, and all of that fun stuff. And I get it. From a public works perspective, how do you approach your work, right, Michael? How do you approach your work, and how do you determine how to apply the new technology, the innovation that you're saying, oh, hey, that can be applied here, and then, because you can't look at it, I mean, you can look at it as a sort of in a total vision, but the reality is you got to start someplace and then apply that, and because you're part of the digital twin, that to whatever that is.
Sure. I mean, it's driven by demand, right? We have a lot of work. We're part of the capital improvement plan. So we have a lot of work on the table. So by demand, we have to figure ways to work better and automate a lot of these processes. Great examples would be facilities maintenance, right? Typically how that works is you have a 2D plan set. Someone walks on the site and they figure out where an asset is that needs to be maintained and repaired. Right. Now, what we want to give them the capability to do is walk through that in a 3D model at their desktop and find that asset, understand the part number, any other facilities or assets that may be involved in that repair or maintenance, and have the part in their hand when they go to fix it and know exactly where to go. I mean, you're looking at time and cost savings of exponential factors. So it's driven by demand, and we want to provide excellent service to our clients. We call all of our internal agencies and customers, we call them our clients. We don't consider them like, oh, hey, it's the engineering group.
Right.
No, it's a client. We're going to give you the best product possible, and that's our approach.
Go for it.
And I wanted to put a little bit an additional perspective or dimension on this. So there is this kind of direct aspect of it with machine learning and AI and all those new technologies that allow us to do really advanced things that serve a new generation of Z generation young people who grew up in that.
I have no clue.
The technology itself is selling itself, right? So when you have a proof of concept and you show it to somebody, they can see the big picture immediately. But on the back end of our mind as a public institution, there is this need to bring the county into higher level of digital literacy, bridging that digital divide, and also prepare ourselves with what we know is coming, like self-driving cars. Who's going to handle this infrastructure to support those things that the next 10 years are maybe coming, right? We have a role to play to create an infrastructure to support those big changes coming in. So we have to prepare ourselves. So all those things are additional driving forces.
Kudos. I mean, I love that. I love that vision. I love the strategy behind it. Going back to sort of the digital twin. To be able to do that, you're going to have to begin pulling data of these assets. So you're going to have to get into that whole digital transformation conversation about pulling data, what to do with that data, how do you, and then be able to take that data and create some tactics around it, and say, hey, go out there and maintain that asset because it's showing signs of wear, whatever that is, right? And be able to do that. Have you come to that sort of that level of insights? Are you still sort of working through the details about that, or have you started to, hey, yeah, let's get a device out there to pull that motor, vibration, whatever it might be?
I would say we're still on our journey.
Yeah.
We're finding better ways to do things. I mean, every month there's a new application that comes out that allows us to work better and more efficiently. So we're on our journey right now. We're still, evaluating the tools out there because, like I said, they're so abundant. But yes, we do have some proof of concepts in progress. So,
and the scale of data, we're talking about an area that incorporates 380 miles of roadways. We have 35 cities. We're managing more than 800 buildings in the county. We're talking about 3 million plus population. So we're talking about massive scale. We started bringing things together. The BIM models of the buildings we manage, like the footprints of the entire county buildings. That's 800,000 building structures that we're building in. City data. Right now we started understanding the massive scale of our endeavor, but we started creating this kind of bulk of work and the proof of concept as we bring in things in. And I think as we move along in the journey, we're going to get better and better on that.
And see, what makes this whole journey, which is great with OMG, is that you're able to find individuals to collaborate and have real dialogue and say, I have this issue, or I have this challenge, or whatever it might be, and be able to find somebody that says, I got you. And all I can think about with this whole data thing, you need to connect with Bassam, because we were just having that, because it's a tsunami, and given the size of your area, I'm just telling you, again, way above my pay grade. I just see the pain, So from here, from where you're at, what are some of your tactical steps? You got some POCs happening. When do you think you'll begin to deliver and just put these into real operations?
So we have several different initiatives going.
See how I let you guys hang there? See?
Yeah.
I messed up. Michael, tell us. See how that works? You're going, oh, man, I just left up.
So we have several different initiatives happening at the same time. So which one gets done first? I mean, that's a matter where we can, focus our resources. But I think the overall Kostas can probably give some more input into.
So you're tracking it. You're saying, okay, I've got these POCs. They're happening right now. I'm tracking the expectations. We think it's this. Are we tracking? Are you hitting your targets?
Yeah, some of it is project-based. And the more people seeing what we're doing, the proof of concept, the more people coming, we want to be involved in that. So, for example, the buildings, creating some interface with our managing buildings and linking our real-time asset management databases to a digital twin. So that's one project. The other project is being able to visualize quickly emergency operations. That's really important, especially with wildfires or floods. And so that's another priority. We might want to build a component there. But on the same time, as we're doing that, we start bringing slowly the bigger infrastructure, supportive data as they go there, and building the large-scale digital twin. But we might have more details and more functional parts, project by project or need by need. And who knows? People on the county, the supervisors or the leadership might see certain things and certain needs that we don't see immediately, and they might say, well, let's prioritize this, right?
It just seems like, okay, right, this to you, Mike. It just seems like, okay, this is great, I got it, It's increased work, It's easy to sort of status quo everything. This is how we do it. I go out here, I have my piece of paper. But what you're asking, to go through this change, you're going to have to find people to help facilitate the change. There's a human equation there.
Yeah.
How are you addressing that?
Yeah, so I mean that's the funnest part of it, right? Is we're determining where we need to upskill, and then we're bringing in kids fresh out of college. And I say kids, I mean 20.
You're a kid.
20. we're bringing in students that just graduated from local universities, and they're so excited to be a part of this. And so that
great.
That part is actually, I don't want to say it's been easy, but understanding, having people excited about this vision, determining where we need to upskill, those parts have kind of come naturally, and they're working out really well. I'd say the hardest part is the data part, right? Understanding all the data we have. We are sitting on a mountain of data.
Yeah,
and to Kostas' point, I mean, we're building the foundation for a larger county digital twin. And we have this data in our fingertips already. We just need to turn over the rock and, there's that data.
And it has to be scalable. You can't just do it, here, do this one line thing, but it's scalable. So you also have to have that architectural vision of saying it's going to scale. So we got to make sure that we don't, pigeonhole ourselves. Go ahead, Kostas.
Yeah, I wanted to put a dimension. This is more my personal journey and what I bring into my work. I'm a complex system scientist. I love complexity, right? I'm one of the generation.
Well, you have found your Shangri-La at OMG, because that's definitely the case.
I'm part of this generation of scientists, the complex system scientists, that think the worst thing that happened to science was the last 70 years was the Occam's razor, and I'm looking always for the simple solution. But I think now, as societies, we realize the complexity of our problems, and the solution has to be at least as complex as the problem itself. So there is a two-pronged battle. The one battle is we need to bring not only our CEOs, the leadership, but also the communities to the level to understand and embrace that complexity, right? So we need to bring that complexity forward. The other end is we need to bring forward the citizen digital literacy so they can understand how they can use those complex solutions in their everyday life. So,
but see, this is the challenge, right? You've just sort of articulated the challenge of being able to communicate that. Many people just sort of right off the bat begin to gloss over. You can see their eyes just sort of rolling in the back of the head. But the reality is, it is complex. It is changing rapidly. There's a velocity and there's a complexity that is taking place just within the world itself. And I think the leaders, whoever have to make the decisions, have to just, tighten up their belt and learn this stuff.
I have a background in academia. I used to be a professor at the university for more than 10 years. So I work with kids in the newer generation. I understand it's very easy for them to understand this. And now we need to bring that complexity curriculum to the university to create professionals with those kind of skills, because we need them to come in and work with us.
That's another conversation. Do you think the existing academic structure is nimble enough to deal with this complexity and speed?
No, and we're working on that. Right now we have a collaboration with a couple of universities. At this moment I co-teach a digital twin course at Cal Poly Pomona. We are trying to bring, as part of the consortium academia working group, to bring forth curriculum to suggest to universities we need this kind of skills in the curriculum, because
but then again,
it's not part of the standard curriculum
but
now.
you need the teachers, the one like you, who've been in the trenches, who are having these conversations at OMG, to be able to sort of share that with you. I don't think it's plausible, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it's plausible for these professors to be just sort of academia focused, all fine and dandy, and understand and be able to deal with what the reality is out there and being able to prepare. But then again, to your point, Michael, you're hiring from the universities, and then recognize that there's a necessity for you to train,
Yeah.
to upskill, to reskill, or whatever the skill is, right?
And I would add, a lot of the professors that we're working with at these local universities are excited about this initiative.
I love it.
They're excited. They want to learn about it, and they're open-minded to adding this curriculum to their coursework, and it's excellent. I mean, it's a great relationship we have, and we're seeing that with the students because they're excited about it as well, and they're coming out with skills that we can put to work right away and helping us build this digital twin.
Go ahead.
Let me give you an example. One of the projects that we did on that class, we gave the students access to all the open data, GIS data with Orange County. There's hundreds and hundreds of data sets. And we tell them, come up with 5 ideas how you can use this data in a digital twin. And I was blown away with the level of innovation and creativity that the students come forward. It's always really nice ideas coming out of that. So.
But see what's interesting and what I like about what you're talking about. I can honestly say I can see OMG and where you guys are part of the digital twin, this standards body, but then you're also an organization over here that is passionate about changing. So you've got this organization you're collaborating with, and you're trying to put it into action. But then you're also working with academia to pull them in for the next generation. I like the way that works. Kudos to you guys. I mean, maybe I don't know. I think there's great stuff there.
I think this is a functional example how a collaboration between industry, government, and academia can be very productive.
I don't see any other way to getting around that. I mean, I do. All right, for the listeners out there, Michael, give us a little contact information if they want to get a hold of you and ask some questions.
Sure, you can reach me on michael.lafontaine@ocpw.ocgov.com.
It's a hell of a URL. All right, Kostas, how do they get a hold of you? Doctor?
I think the best way is LinkedIn. You know, if you look at Kostas Alexandridis at OC Public Works, you'll find me there.
Yeah,
right?
I was just going to say, I don't know if there's many of you out there on LinkedIn, which is good. Very good. All right, thank you guys. Excellent conversation. All right, listeners, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. I'm going to have all the contact information out for these two gents out on industrialtalk.com. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk on this excursion into industry and celebrating industry professionals all around the world. You got to like that conversation. You got to like what is happening out there in the community. And one of the things that comes popping into my head, of course, is that you, industry, and anybody listening to this need to be engaged. You need to continue to educate and, of course, collaborate because you're going to have to innovate. It is happening whether you like it or not. If you own a business, if you're just a part of a business, you're going to have to advocate. You need to get connected, and you need to be able to, just do what's happening out there from a digital transformation perspective. Also, to do that, to begin that journey, OMG.org. Just go out to OMG.org. It's easy. Right there, World Wide Web. And find out how you can get engaged and how you can participate and what that's all about. You get to connect with some of the industry thought leaders right there, happening all the time. So don't hesitate. Go out to OMG.org. Now, you can get engaged. You can be a part of the Industrial Talk platform. We're all here about celebrating industry in all its wonderful glory and all of that innovation, all of that operational efficiency stuff right here. Industrial Talk celebrates you. We're going to have another great conversation coming from OMG as well as other sites on Industrial Talk. So stay tuned. We will have them up shortly.